apparently, he was expensive, and Charles Dance on his first day to set wore a T-shirt saying "cheaper than Alan Rickman."
Oh, that's amazing. But I gotta tell you,
So
would you want to see Alan Rickman reprise his shtick? It would feel a little sad, not sad, cash. It would feel like a cash grab. Let's say that.
yeah, he's already done like probably the best British sounding villain in action movies. It would take it into the realm of parody, I think, or self-parody.
Yeah, you're right. And then whereas Charles Dance, there's a menace to him. I've killed smarter and younger kids than you, and his big size and the whole 360 bit. You pulled the 360.
Yeah.
No, it's a 180.
It's a 180. Was it you pillock or you idiot or?
Yeah, he keeps calling them Italian type things, like you pasta eating something or another.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But I dug his character, and then it gets mean in some moments, right? The kid opens up his door in New York City and he gets robbed and tied to a toilet. And then there's a scene.
What was that about?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was kind of dark.
Yeah, it's super dark. And then you have the scene where he just murders a guy in cold blood in New York because after he sees those guys kill him for their shoes, then he murders a dude.
And then he shouts, I love that, where he's just shouting, he's like, "Hello, I've just murdered someone. Are you coming to get me?"
And then people go, "Shut up, get out of here." It's, I guess it's to explain. So I guess in Jack Slater's world, whenever a murder happens, there's cops always there. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. Or, somebody calls the cops immediately and they're like, sirens start blaring.
This is a weird world. So in Jack Slater's world, it's just Jack Slater. So for instance, Dracula actually exists in a parallel world? Or is that because the ticket from Houdini takes him there? Hey, do you want to summarize this movie real quick for people who are lost? Give a 40-word or less summation of Last Action Hero.
Kid has a magic movie ticket that takes him inside his favorite Schwarzenegger movie.
Wow. You just nailed that. That was like 20 words.
Yeah, I'm good at these short summaries, it seems.
I'd still be going. I'd be like 60 words deep. But yeah, it's, I guess I dig how it just gets... You can tell, though, that there are 3 different screenwriters on this movie and a lot of different voices, because there are some scenes that aren't like, he doesn't really need to have a daughter in this movie because... Yeah,
but again, that kind of goes to the trope of, having the kind of the ex-wife and then having, the super hot, female interest for like the audience who has no reason to be in the movie other than like some kind of tenuous connection to the hero.
I guess they did do that in the 90s a lot. So you had True Lies with Elijah Dushku getting kidnapped. Then you had Face Off with the weird fetishization of the daughter in that one.
That was Peaches and all of that.
Yeah, that was kind of odd with his daughter. And so the 90s. And then you had his other movies, right, where Alyssa Milano gets kidnapped, but I guess she was really resourceful because she cut her way out and got away from Bennett. So I guess that's a well-worn trope, I guess. But
yeah, it's a standard thing. It's like, you'll have, I think the funnier one was the favorite second cousin. It's like, it turns out my favorite second cousin was killed by mobsters and just happens to have really, really, really important information relating to...
I love that scene. Yeah. Hey, so, like, you know what I think my favorite part of this movie are like the tiny, tiny sight gags or bits in this movie. Do you have some favorites? Do you have like 5 favorites from this?
There are a few that I really like.
I like the cards that say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, that's a good bit.
I quite like how Danny just like puts the dynamite out with popcorn, which is like...
It's a great shot.
It's just like, that will work. Okay.
And then that scene where they have that eye, when Benedict's eye comes out, and then the dude twists it, and it's a bomb. And the next scene we see is Jack and the kid, Danny, sitting in the chief's office, just covered in Looney Tunes smoke because of the Acme bomb explosion.
And like you see Acme everywhere, like in some of the chase scenes. If you look at all the boxes, it's like Acme, Acme, Acme everywhere.
And that shows it's in on the gag. This movie I guess the beginning, though, it's not the gag. And then you get into the gag, and then you're out of the gag. But they don't really have enough time to establish much of any of that. Would you say that's a fault of it? Or do you think...
Yeah, it's... the rules weren't really very clearly defined, I think. It was just kind of, oh, I'm in there, and then all of a sudden Benedict goes through a wall for some reason and is in the real world, and then they follow him, and then all of a sudden Benedict, of course, has full mastery of the ticket and knows instantly. It's like, oh, well, of course I can use this to summon a bunch of movie villains.
Because he saw the Twilight Zone episode, right? So he knew what was going on.
It's just like, I know how to do this. Yeah, sure, I'm going to go get all these movie villains, which I think was a wasted opportunity. It shows he didn't really do his research.
You should have brought Godzilla in.
Well, you can't control Godzilla. I think, you go, like his speech about the villains, he was like, oh, I'll get Hannibal Lecter, and I'll get what Hannibal Lecter is coming to dinner.
I'm going to put you on the spot. 5 movie villains. You want to take over the Earth. Which 5 you bringing in? This is a huge question.
It depends on, do they keep their, let's say they keep their abilities.
Yes.
If we're saying death kept his abilities.
And they work for you.
I think you got to bring Darth Vader.
Yep.
You bring an alien queen.
Oh, gosh.
And then Predator. Sure, why not?
Whoa.
And then maybe you bring someone like Zod.
Oh, no.
There's no kryptonite on our world. And you're like, okay, yeah.
Whoa.
And
the Earth is over. You got one more.
Yeah, I got one more. Then maybe like Lex Luthor or something like that, just to kind of strategize.
Oh, man. I would take... If I want to destroy the world, correct? That's my point?
Yeah. Well, what if you want to defeat me? Who are your 5-hero team to take me down?
Oh, I'd have to take Superman. I would take Superman from all the different movies.
So just 5 Supermen.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? There it is. No, you know what? I'd take 4 Supermen and then Rey, because I think she would just hand it to Vader because she gets so powerful. So I'll take that. If I had villains that would take over the world, I am bringing in the Sharks from Deep Blue Sea. I'm taking Stripe from Gremlins. Because if it rains and those things start popping...
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm thinking end of the world, right? Yeah. I'll take the creature from The Thing. We don't know if that's a villain or not, though, because it's just a...
No, that's just a... But, it's kind of a parasite that spreads.
And I want to end the world, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then I'll take that. I'll take one of the fast zombies from 28 Days Later.
Oh, interesting.
So I have Stripe, The Thing, Sharks, a zombie from 28 Days Later. Oh, man. And, gosh. And who's the dude... who's Ralph Ray Fiennes from Harry Potter?
Oh, Voldemort.
I'll take Voldemort. No, I'm going to take Johnny 23 from The Frighteners. Because he's just pure evil.
He was crazy.
I'm leaving the Earth. I'm bringing them to Earth, then I'm leaving. I'm done. How long does the Earth last with those things running around?
Well, I'd say, release the Gremlins in Ireland and it'll be... Yeah. They'll have covered the entire landmass after 2 days with the amount of rain.
Oh man, yeah, that's done. Ireland's done in a few weeks. Like I'll put the zombies in the most populated areas in the world. So I'll just find the most populated area. Maybe
drop them in Japan, China, India.
All right, yeah. I'll drop them in Bangladesh. I'll just drop that one there. The sharks, they won't do much damage. I'll just have them run around murdering people. I'll have them take out whale people who illegally kill whales, I guess. I don't know. They'll do good. And then the zombies, oh man, I'll just let Johnny do whatever. This world's done, Niall.
Yeah. It's kind of, it makes you regret that they didn't go further with it.
Yeah, I guess they could have gone because, sorry to interrupt, Niall. I guess he's human here, so there's more stakes. It's fun learning that he can get hurt or hit an airbag or punch a glass and get hurt. But it's like, what's interesting too is his hand never gets cut punching a window. He never gets concussed after smashing into another car or having any neck pain. So he's obviously still a stud, but he also has some powers on Earth because he takes some punishment.
Well, he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? He's built true. Like a tank.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, imagine him with no powers battling things with powers.
Yeah, that would not go well for him.
And then Danny starts bringing in other things.
especially not with plot armor.
It's
With no plot armor, I think you'd be in trouble.
But does Danny learn any lessons in this movie?
Not really. I don't think like the lesson he's supposed to learn is, to live his own life and kind of enjoy what he has. But what he really learns is that, hey, magic's real, and I've still got half this golden ticket. I can go into movies whenever I want.
Oh yeah. I have a question, Niall. You're a young kid. You get this ticket. You get this ticket, and you realize you can go to alternate universes. You'll never be the same because magic exists. Like, how would you be as blasé about it as Danny is? Because Danny's pretty chill about what's going on. Or do you think kids can process it better than adults?
Well, kids would be more willing to just accept something as given. Right?
Yeah, especially if your world isn't that good that you live in.
Yeah. Something you've hoped for is like all of a sudden magic's real and gives you an escape from, whatever, getting handcuffed to a toilet. I think you'll take whatever you can get.
That door that they had. I mean, I didn't live in New York in the 90s. Norbert talks about New York in the 90s. That's where he grew up. So maybe we should ask him about that. But that door was pretty secured. She's like, do not unlock this door. So maybe we'll talk to Norbert.
Is it really that's completely alien to me, like having spent most of my growing up time in rural Ireland, where even doors being closed was optional half the time. Like, it would be closed if it's cold.
I'm recording an episode about Raising Arizona with Norbert, so I'll ask him about it before that. But it's just, I don't know. I got another thing that's interesting. I think I told you this. I got a 20-pack of movies. I think it's a 20-pack for $10. And Last Action Hero's on this 20-pack of films. So it's kind of become the film that's part of 20 movie action packs for $10. And do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think it's part of action history, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was viewed as a misstep at the time, I think audiences now would be a lot kinder to it than audiences then. I think there's a bit more maturity at the whole meta thing, like with Scream, for example, like poking fun at the tropes of horror movies. That came out, 96?
Yep, 96.
Yeah. Even True Lies came out, I think, 94.
94.
That was basically almost an evolution of Last Action Hero. Just it was slightly more grounded, but it was still very, very silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're fired. I guess the difference was you had the voice of Cameron there.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to let anybody get in there and mess with his film. I found it interesting oral history, and someone wrote, it was a historical moment where so many people saw this craziness unfold that it created an embarrassment and a ripple effect in the business. Somebody needed to step in and say, look, we've got some of the most talented people on earth and a boatload of resources. What is this actual movie we're making? Instead, everyone avoided the hard conversations, so the movie attacked and ate itself. It's the cautionary tale. And they said that Hollywood blockbusters were never the same after Last Action Hero because of the mass expense, the $60 million budget, the $15 million for Arnold. Also in the 90s, if you think about it, right, like that's when some comedy stars really started taking over. Mike Myers get 20 million, Adam Sandler 20 million, Jim Carrey 20 million, Will Smith was acting in there. And I also think Keanu Reeves in 94 and 90 and Point Break sort of changed what an action hero is, as far as he was like a sensitive
kind of
dude.
Moved away from that was kind of the end of Arnold's reign as like an action god.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you look at what films came out afterwards, you had basically Eraser, he did Sixth Day came out later.
End of Days.
However many Terminator sequels he's done now.
Yeah.
So the pickings are kind of slim. Whereas, if you look at his filmography before then, Batman and Robin, which was, awful.
Oh, that was
the
so
only
bad.
Batman movie I can't rewatch.
No.
I've tried. I just can't watch it. And not because of Arnold, but just in general, it's just so bad.
And even though Batman, I feel like Batman and Robin does a